The family of an assassinated presidential candidate in Ecuador has filed a legal complaint against the government. They accuse the state of murder by willful omission for failing to protect the life of Fernando Villavicencio, knowing that he had received threats from various criminal groups. The complaint came just days before Ecuadorians head to the polls for the presidential and legislative election. Security issues and disillusionment with the political class will be top of mind for many voters. Nearly 100,000 troops will be deployed to ensure public safety for Sunday's vote. While last week's assassination and a spate of other violent attacks have marred the election in a country struggling with corruption. CNN's Rafael Romo has our story from Quito.
She may lose her right eye, but it could have been worse. Gisela Cecibel Molina says she was only a few steps behind presidential candidate Fernando Villavicencio on August 9 when he was shot as he was leaving a rally in Quito, the capital. She says she was so close to the candidate when he was assassinated that her doctor told her a fragment of a stray bullet hit her in the right eye. The brutal murder of Villavicencio, an outspoken anti-corruption candidate and former investigative journalist, has shaken the country ahead of this Sunday's presidential and legislative elections.
Fernando was shot 3 times in the head.
Andrea González Nader, Villavicencio's running mate and still a vice presidential candidate for the party's replacement, says his tragic assassination is a gruesome reminder violence in Ecuador has reached such high levels that everybody is at risk.
And that's the way we have to choose on these elections on the 20th of August. Like he used to say, we have to choose between the mafia or making our country, again, a safe place for all.
We have to take control of our borders.
John Topic is running for president as a law and order candidate. The 40-year-old businessman who once fought for the French Foreign Legion says violence in Ecuador won't stop until the security forces put an end to the drug trade from neighboring countries.
All of that cocaine and all that heroin that comes into the country helps to finance the corruption of politicians, cops, soldiers, judges, DAs. By the very fact that we're not controlling our borders means that you have all of this influx of money that's literally corrupting the country.
The married father of 3 told us that his own family hasn't been immune to the kind of insecurity that affects many Ecuadorians. The candidate told us that just last week he received a death threat at home in the city of Guayaquil, but he says he won't be intimidated.
Our campaign slogan is to go from fear to hope.
Is Ecuador a failed state?
We're on our way to becoming a failed state, definitely.
On the brink, maybe?
I want to say on the brink, but definitely we have to take action sooner than later.
Multiple acts of violence have shaken Ecuador in the last few months. In July, Agustin Intriago, the mayor of the port city of Manta, the 6th largest in Ecuador, was gunned down, one of several murders or attempted murders of elected officials, as well as local and regional candidates this year. In the last days of the campaign, this is what Ecuadorian voters have seen. At a rally, the man who replaced Villavicencio, the murdered candidate, was surrounded by a SWAT team, himself wearing a tactical helmet and bulletproof vest. As for Molina, the National Assembly candidate who was shot in the eye, we all have to go out and vote, she says. The world has to know, she added, that Ecuador is kidnapped by the mafia. Rafael Romo, CNN, Quito, Ecuador.